These strange markings are evidence of Polynesians here, but as of yet no one's been able to decipher them, and we have no idea what they mean.
In the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean lies a small scale of land so remote that it might as well be on another planet. Pitcairn Island, the most isolated archipelago in the world.
These beautiful beaches are pretty much as remote as you can get on the surface of the planet.
A place where time bends and history lingers in the salt-laden air. This island is a living artifact, hiding stories of rebellion, survival, and an extraordinary way of life that challenges the conventions of the modern world. But what would it be like to live in such deep isolation? Join us as we unravel 14 facts about Pitcairn Island. Number 14, the hidden paradise, where rugged beauty meets love. Pitcairn Island is a place unlike any other, where the rough landscape mirrors the resilient spirit of its people. The island lacks the typical features of a tropical paradise. There are no soft, sandy beaches to stroll along, no vibrant coral bars crowded with marine life, and not even a proper port to welcome ships. Instead, Pitcairn's coastline is marked by sharp, unforgiving rocks, making access to the island a challenge for even the most seasoned sailors. Yet, despite these harsh conditions, Pitcairn is often hailed as a hidden paradise in the Pacific Ocean, a place where the true beauty lies not in the scenery, but in the people who call it home. Visitors to Pitcairn often find themselves captivated not by the island's natural features.
Well, I made it around Pitcairn Island. That was my intention and my goal.
But by the warmth and charm of its inhabitants, particularly the Polynesian girls who are known for their radiant smiles. These young women are often described as stunningly beautiful, displaying health and purity that seem to reflect the island's untouched nature. The entire island is filled with a sense of the sacred, where the local culture reveres love above all else. The people of Pitcairn worship no god other than the god of love, and this belief is woven into every aspect of their daily lives. The island itself is seen as a temple, the women as goddesses, and the men as their devoted worshippers. Life on Pitcairn Island follows a unique rhythm, deeply influenced by Polynesian traditions that have been preserved for centuries. Here, children mature quickly, taking on adult roles and responsibilities at an age that would be considered shockingly young in other parts of the world. It's not uncommon for girls as young as 12 to become mothers, a practice that is both accepted and respected within the community. This early transition into adulthood is seen as a natural and even desirable part of life, deeply rooted in the island's cultural heritage. Number 13, the secret sanctuary of the Bounty Mutineers. This island has a history deeply rooted in rebellion and the quest for freedom. To truly understand its significance, we need to journey back to the year 1789, when the infamous rebellion on the HMS Bounty took place. The ship, under the command of Captain William Bligh,
their famous ship, the HMS Bounty, sank. At least one person died, another is still missing.
Was on a mission to transport breadfruit plants from Tahiti to the West Indies. However, the crew had grown increasingly unhappy with Captain Bligh's harsh leadership,
leaving their captain and some other crew members behind. William's small boat, which managed to carry a few provisions,
led by the ship's master's mate, Fletcher Christian, the crew decided they have had enough. In an act of defiance that has since been immortalized in books and films, the mutineers seized control of the Bounty, casting Captain Bligh and those loyal to him adrift in a small, open boat. But how does Pitcairn Island fit into this dramatic tale of mutiny on the high seas? After taking control of the Bounty, Fletcher Christian and his fellow mutineers, along with a group of Tahitian men and women they had brought with them, were desperate to find a place where they could escape the long arm of British law. They needed a refuge, a place so remote that they would be safe from capture. That's when Pitcairn Island, located in the middle of the vast Pacific Ocean, came into the picture. Pitcairn was the perfect hideaway for these rebels. Its remote location made it nearly impossible to find. And to make matters even better for the mutineers, the island was incorrectly charted on British maps, adding another layer of protection against discovery. Recognizing these advantages, the rebels decided to make Pitcairn their new home. To ensure their secrecy and eliminate any chance of being traced, they burned the HMS Bounty after landing,
leaving their skeletons to be picked clean by the relentless sea on Pitcairn's treacherous rocks.
effectively severing their ties to the outside world and sealing their fate on this isolated island. Number 12, world's smallest sovereign community. The island's tiny population, gathered in its only settlement, Adamstown, is composed almost entirely of descendants of the famous Bounty mutineers and their Tahitian companions. Their ancestry ties them to one of history's most dramatic tales of rebellion and survival, a legacy that has been passed down through generations. Life on Pitcairn is shaped by its extreme isolation. The island is more than 3,000 miles from the nearest continent, with the closest neighboring island being hundreds of miles away. The isolation is so deep that even the most routine events, like someone going on vacation, ripple through the community. The departure of just one person can create a noticeable gap, highlighting how interconnected the lives of the islanders are. Adamstown, despite being the heart of the island, feels like a paradox. It's a place where the sense of community is strong, yet the isolation is deep. Every resident plays a crucial role in keeping the island running smoothly. The logistics of maintaining a functioning society with such a small population require creativity and resilience. For instance, the island has no airport, and ships visit only a few times a year, bringing supplies and occasionally tourists. This means that the islanders must be largely self-sufficient, relying on their resourcefulness to meet their daily needs. Pitcairn operates under a democratic government, with a mayor and a council elected by the residents.
Online. Now, Daniel, Pitcairn has just 49 residents, so why talk about this story now?
Despite the small population, the island has its own postal system, internet access, and even a unique domain name, .pn. The islanders are responsible for generating their electricity, which comes from a mix of diesel generators and, more recently, solar power. Education is provided at the island's sole school, which caters to the small number of children.
But to the lucky children of Pitcairn, school is almost always out. 2 hours a day before breakfast for classes and the rest of the time for play.
Number 11, reaching Pitcairn Island. Pitcairn Island is so remote that reaching it is an adventure in itself. There's no airport on the island, so the only way to get there is by boat. But boats hardly ever visit the archipelago. The journey begins with a long flight, lasting about 24 hours, to an archipelago in French Polynesia called Mangareva, where the real challenge begins. Flights to Mangareva are only available once a week.
I'm just checking for the flights, and it says open sitting, free sitting on this inter-island flight in Tahiti.
So timing is everything. Once you arrive in Mangareva, you'll have to catch a boat that arrives at Pitcairn on Thursdays and departs on Sundays. This boat serves as the lifeline for both tourists and locals. Missing that Sunday departure means you're stuck waiting, and sometimes for a week, or in rare cases, up to 5 weeks for the next boat. In addition to this, a large ship from New Zealand makes occasional trips to the island, delivering mail, food, medical supplies, and other essentials to keep the island running. Pitcairn is hundreds of kilometers away from the nearest inhabited islands, making these visits critical. On the island itself, you'll find a small store that sells everything from frozen foods to household items, a library, a gym, and a medical center equipped with basic facilities like dental care, a small hospital, and even X-ray services. However, for any serious medical treatment, residents have to travel all the way to Tahiti, which is no easy feat. There's also a school on the island, but it's currently closed because the only 2 children who live there are studying abroad. Life on Pitcairn is defined by its isolation, but it's this very remoteness that makes it such a unique and intriguing place to live or visit. Number 10, Pitcairn Island's unique legal landscape. You might be amazed to learn that Pitcairn Island has a legal system as characteristic of its geography. Despite its isolation, Pitcairn's laws are a captivating blend of historical tradition, progressive values, and practical considerations that have evolved over centuries of survival and adaptation. One of the most intriguing laws on the island is the requirement for every household to own a firearm. This rule dates back to a time when the threat of pirate attacks was a genuine concern. The island's early settlers, descendants of the infamous bounty insurgents, needed to defend themselves against potential dangers from the sea. Although the likelihood of a pirate raid today is almost non-existent, the law remains in place, serving as a reminder of the island's storied past and the resilience of its people. The firearms are primarily used for hunting and protection against the island's wild goats, which can sometimes pose a threat to crops. But Pitcairn's legal quirks don't stop with firearms. The island made headlines in 2015 when it became the only British overseas territory to legalize same-sex marriage. This was a remarkable step for such a small and isolated community, reflecting the islanders' commitment to equality and human rights. This decision was especially notable given that Pitcairn's population at the time was less than 50, showing that even the smallest communities can lead the way in progressive social change. Land ownership on Pitcairn is another area where the island's laws stand out. Unlike most places where you can buy and sell land freely, Pitcairn operates on a rent system. If you want to own a piece of land on the island, you must apply to the island's council, which may grant you a rent for up to 50 years. This system ensures that the island's limited land and resources are managed sustainably and prevents outsiders from buying up land and potentially altering the island's delicate balance. Number 9. Bounty Day Celebration. Bounty Day, held every January 23rd, is one of the most important public holidays on Pitcairn Island, steeped in both historical and cultural richness. This special day commemorates the dramatic event of 1790 when the mutineers of the HMS Bounty set their ship ablaze, marking the start of their secluded existence on this remote island. The HMS Bounty, once a British naval ship, became infamous when its crew, led by Fletcher Christian, rebelled against Captain William Bligh. After seizing control of the vessel, the mutineers set it on fire to prevent capture and to cut off any possible rescue attempts. They then settled on Pitcairn Island, whose isolated location offered them a secure hideout from British authorities and the rest of the world. On Bounty Day, islanders engage in a heartbreaking restoration of the ship's burning, a ritual that serves as both a historical homage.
The thing I like most about Bounty Day is when everyone gets together and does marching.
And a dramatic retelling of their ancestors' bold actions. The event is more than just a historical reform. It is a deeply rooted tradition that binds the community together. The festivities also feature a communal feast that highlights the island's unique cooking union. Dishes prepared for the occasion often blend British influences, reflecting the mutineers' origins, with Polynesian ingredients and cooking styles, a nod to the island's cultural growth. Specialties might include dishes like roasted pork, breadfruit, and local fish, symbolizing the diverse culinary heritage of Pitcairn. Bounty Day stands out, not only for its historical significance.
Welcome this day, Greg, and I'm glad you to come down and join our Flowers Bounty Day.
Well, happy Bounty Day to you too. You're looking...
But also for its role in reinforcing the island's collective identity. Despite the challenges faced by their ancestors, the Pitcairn residents have transformed the day into a celebration of their unity and resilience. The holiday offers a chance for the community to reflect on their shared past, celebrate their unique way of life, and strengthen their bonds. Number 8. Pitcairn Island's bold appeal. The small population in Pitcairn Island stands out for its striking isolation. With just around 50 inhabitants, the island is now urgently seeking new residents in a bid to counter its severe population decline. The Pitcairn government is making this call with some very attractive offers. Newcomers are promised a peaceful lifestyle, a mild climate, and the chance to own a piece of land at exceptionally low prices, with some plots even available for free. This appeal to potential settlers, however, masks a more challenging reality. The island's economy faces significant difficulties, primarily due to its reliance on selling collectible stamps and coins. Historically, these items were a major source of income for Pitcairn, but in today's digital era, the market for such collectibles has decreased dramatically. This drop in demand has led to a notable decrease in revenue for the island, complicating efforts to attract and support new residents.
Online. Now, Daniel, Pitcairn has just 49 residents, so why talk about this story now?
Adding to the complexity, Pitcairn's remoteness means that everyday goods and services are often expensive and difficult to obtain. Supplies and equipment must be shipped from distant lands, which increases living costs and creates logistical challenges. The island relies on a supply ship from New Zealand. Which brings essential items and mail approximately every 6 weeks, adding another layer of difficulty for those living there. Despite these challenges, Pitcairn offers a unique way of life that some might find appealing. The island's stunning natural beauty, with its rugged landscapes and crystal-clear waters, provides a serene backdrop for those seeking escape from more bustling environments. Additionally, the close community and the opportunity to be part of an island with such a rich and unique history might attract individuals looking for an extraordinary living experience. Number 7. The hidden Creole of Pitcairn Island. The island interestingly boasts a truly unique linguistic treasure, Pitcairn, an English Creole language spoken exclusively by its residents. Imagine a lively mix of 18th century English sailor jargon combined with Tahitian influences, and you'll start to understand what Pitcairn is all about. This distinctive language emerged when the mutineers of the HMS Bounty and their Tahitian companions found themselves stranded on this isolated island. With no one else to talk to, they needed to develop a language that fit their close-knit community and isolated environment. You might wonder how different Pitcairn is from standard English. For example, if you wanted to say I'm going to the garden in Pitcairn, you would say I gwend garden. And if you're feeling happy, you would simply say, hey. While it might seem like English, it's definitely a unique twist on the language. Pitcairn isn't just different in terms of vocabulary. Its grammar and sentence structure also have their own twists. For instance, Pitcairn often uses a subject-object-verb order for sentences, unlike the subject-verb-object order we're used to in English. This means that sentences are structured differently, which can make understanding Pitcairn both intriguing and challenging. Another fascinating aspect of Pitcairn is that it is an oral language with no standardized written form. Words are spelled phonetically, based on how they sound when spoken.
Not even at the clinic, and raised here. I guess I'm an island girl, I've always loved it.
This adds another layer of difficulty to the language and highlights its unique character. Unfortunately, Pitcairn is at risk of fading away. With the island's small population and the increasing influence of English from the outside world, the future of Pitcairn is uncertain. However, there are ongoing efforts to preserve this unique piece of Pitcairn's heritage to ensure it doesn't disappear. Number 6. The unique flora of the Pacific's hidden paradise. Despite its little size and isolation in the vast Pacific Ocean, the Pitcairn Islands are a treasure trove of unique plant species, many of which are found nowhere else on the planet. These islands, including the main Pitcairn Island and its surrounding islands, boast a range of flora adapted to their specific subtropical climate and volcanic soil. Pitcairn's geological history has played an important role in shaping its unique plant life. The islands emerged from volcanic activity, and their soils are rich in minerals, creating a fertile ground for specialized vegetation. The climate, with its moderate temperatures and consistent rainfall, provides an ideal environment for many common species to thrive. Among the island's unique plants are several species of ferns, orchids, and shrubs that are highly adapted to the island's conditions. For example, the Pitcairn Island koa tree, a type of hardwood, is known for its flexibility and adaptability. The island also supports a variety of common palms and flowering plants, such as the Pitcairn Island daisy, which adds vibrant splashes of color to the landscape. The flora of Pitcairn is not just beautiful, it plays a vital role in the island's ecosystem. Many of the plants are integral to the island's soil conservation and provide essential habitats for native wildlife. The island's native plants help to stabilize the soil and prevent erosion, while also offering food and shelter for the local wildlife, including rare bird species like the Pitcairn reed warbler. In recognition of the importance of their natural heritage, the residents of Pitcairn are dedicated to preserving their unique environment. Conservation efforts include protecting native plant species from invasive species and ensuring that the island's delicate ecosystems remain undisturbed. These efforts are vital in maintaining the ecological balance and preserving the island's natural beauty for future generations. Now it's time for subscriber's pick. In the massive span of South Pacific Ocean, there lies a speck of land so remote, so untouched, that it's as if time itself forgot it. This is Pitcairn Island, the heart of the most isolated archipelago in the world. Home to a mere handful of residents, Pitcairn is shrouded in mystery, with secrets that are as intriguing as they are strange. An island where every face you meet is a distant relative, and the language spoken is a curious blend of 18th century sailor slang and Tahitian. This is a place where the descendants of the infamous HMS Bounty mutineers still live, their ancestry a badge of both pride and peculiar history. But the strangeness of Pitcairn doesn't end with its human story. The island itself is a treasure trove of twists. From the rare Pitcairn daisy that blooms nowhere else on Earth, to the strange, settled remnants of the Bounty, whose burnt timbers still rest in the shallow waters, Pitcairn is a living museum of the bizarre. Pitcairn is one of the few places where you can own a piece of land for free, but the island's isolation supplies arrive only every few months, and the nearest grocery store is over 3,000 miles away. The islanders have found ingenious ways to survive and thrive in such isolation. They craft intricate carvings from the island's native wood and produce honey so pure, it's well known worldwide. Yet, despite the island's beauty and the close-knit community, Pitcairn faces the ever-present challenge of population decline, with the residents constantly on the lookout for new settlers to join their unique way of life. Number 5. Unfolding Saga of Pitcairn Island's Pioneers. The 48 residents of Pitcairn Island, organized into 9 families, are direct descendants of the British sailors who, after a dramatic historical journey, settled this remote tropical paradise. Their ancestors are central to the legendary tale of the HMS Bounty, a story that has captivated imaginations for over 2 centuries. After the revolution in 1787, as stated earlier, Bligh and 18 loyalists were set adrift in a small, open boat with minimal supplies, just some provisions, water, and essential navigation tools, like a compass and a sextant. Remarkably, Bligh and his crew managed to navigate over 3,600 miles across the open sea,
leaving their captain and some other crew members behind. William's small boat, which managed to carry a few provisions,
and reached safety in Timor, Indonesia, after enduring a grueling 42 days at sea. This survival feat is considered one of the greatest navigation achievements in maritime history. Meanwhile, the mutineers, along with some Tahitian men and women they had brought with them, made their way to Pitcairn Island. They chose this isolated and uncharted island to avoid detection by the British Navy. Upon arrival, they burned the Bounty to eliminate any evidence of their presence and prevent any possibility of escape. The early settlers faced severe challenges on Pitcairn. The isolation of the island, combined with significant social tensions, led to conflicts among the settlers. The imbalance in the number of men and women created an explosive situation, leading to internal conflict and violence. The harsh conditions and infighting reduced the population significantly. Only a few of the original settlers survived these early years of chaos. Today, the descendants of these early settlers make up the island's population, preserving a unique cultural heritage that blends British and Polynesian influences.
From Tahitian culture, and some of it may be the survival culture, which had been there since the island was first settled, which said that you had to...
Their lineage is a living proof to the island's dramatic history and the resilience of its early inhabitants. The descendants maintain traditions passed down through generations, offering a hint into the island's captivating past and the legacy of its first settlers. Number 4. Economy rooted in land, sea, and tradition. On Pitcairn Island, the economy turns around survival farming and fishing. Thanks to the island's fertile soil and the rich resources of the surrounding ocean, the residents can literally sustain themselves from the land and sea. Imagine living in a place where every meal can come from the fruits of your labor and the bounty of the ocean. But the ingenuity of the islanders doesn't stop there. They are skilled artisans, creating beautiful handicrafts from local materials like wood and plants. These handmade items, filled with the island's unique charm, are often sold to tourists or online to global buyers, adding a creative dimension to the local economy. Another surprising source of income for Pitcairn Island is the sale of postage stamps and coins. Collectors from around the world are eager to purchase these unique items, which are especially valuable due to the island's isolation and rarity. The distinctive stamps and coins reflect the island's remote nature and make them highly sought after by enthusiasts. However, Pitcairn's isolation and small population present significant challenges. The island lacks large factories or multinational companies, so its economy relies heavily on the resourcefulness and determination of its residents. The local economy thrives on their ability to adapt and invent within their bounds. Tourism is another vital component of Pitcairn's economy, though it remains small-scale and personalized due to the island's coolness. Visitors are attracted by the island's rugged beauty and rich history.
These strange markings are evidence of Polynesians here.
But the logistical challenges of reaching such a distant place limit the scale of the tourism industry. In a world where economies are often driven by industries, manufacturing and services, Pitcairn Island stands out as an intriguing contrast. Its economy is deeply connected to its natural environment, the skills of its people, and its unique historical backdrop. Number 3. Henderson Island. Henderson Island, a key member of the Pitcairn Islands group, is celebrated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is often regarded as the world's best example of an elevated coral atoll ecosystem. This remote island, situated in the South Pacific Ocean, has remained largely untouched by human interference, contributing to its remarkable ecological significance. Unique ecosystem and biodiversity. Henderson Island is a living laboratory of biological diversity. It hosts around 10 plant species and 4 bird species that are found nowhere else on Earth.
Henderson is larger than Pitcairn, and there's abundant food here. The flightless land birds would have been easy prey for the Polynesians.
The island's flora includes the Henderson Island palm Pritchardia hendersonensis, which is critically endangered and one of the island's most iconic species. Among its avian inhabitants, the Henderson petrel Pterodroma atrata is noteworthy, as it breeds exclusively on the island. The isolation of Henderson Island has allowed these species to evolve in unique ways, making it a vital site for understanding evolutionary processes. Environmental isolation. The island's geographical and ecological isolation plays a significant role in preserving its natural state. Situated about 5,000 kilometers, that is 3,100 miles from the nearest major landmass, Henderson Island's inaccessibility has helped protect its delicate ecosystems. The absence of freshwater resources further limits human settlement, as the island's only water sources are rain and dew, making it unsuitable for long-term habitation. Scientific importance. Henderson Island offers invaluable insights into island ecology and evolution. Its pristine environment provides a rare opportunity to study how species adapt to isolated conditions over long periods. The island's status as a living laboratory helps scientists understand patterns of biodiversity and the impact of isolation on species development. Environmental threats. Despite its remote location, Henderson Island is not immune to environmental challenges. Plastic pollution, carried by ocean currents, poses a significant threat. Debris from distant lands can wash ashore, affecting the island's original beaches and potentially impacting local wildlife. The island's conservation efforts aim to ease these threats and preserve its ecological integrity. Number 2. Embracing change in a remote paradise. Pitcairn Island, once known for its strict moral rules, has undergone some major changes in recent years, leading to a more relaxed lifestyle for its residents. The island, known for its isolated and traditional way of life, has softened its stance on several social regulations that were once strictly enforced. Historically, Pitcairn Island had very strict rules about what was acceptable behavior. Dancing, public displays of affection, smoking, and drinking alcohol were all heavily restricted. These rules were in place to maintain a certain level of modesty and control within the small community. One of the most notable changes has been in the regulation of alcohol. Previously, anyone who wanted to buy, import, or consume alcohol on the island needed a special permit that was valid for just 6 months. This permit system made it quite difficult to enjoy alcoholic beverages, creating a rather dry and restrictive environment. Now, these strict regulations have been lifted. The island has embraced a more relaxed approach, with cafes and bars opening up where both residents and visitors can enjoy a drink. The government store also stocks alcohol and tobacco, offering more options for relaxation and socialization. This shift has brought a new vibrancy to Pitcairn Island, allowing people to unwind, interact, and enjoy life more fully. This relaxation of rules is part of a broader trend of Pitcairn Island, gradually opening up and integrating with the outside world. The changes reflect a move towards innovation and a greater connection with global social practices. As Pitcairn adapts to these new norms, it signifies a shift from its traditionally limited ways to a more fashionable lifestyle. Number 1. Exploring the unique cuisine of Pitcairn Island. On Pitcairn Island, you'll discover a cuisine as unique and intriguing as the island itself. The food here reflects the island's isolation and the abundance provided by its land and sea. The island's cuisine is crafted from ingredients found right on Pitcairn. For example, breadfruit is a cornerstone of the local diet. This versatile tropical fruit is prepared in various ways: baked, fried, or boiled, and even transformed into a special type of sweet. This highlights the islanders' skill in making the most out of what nature provides. Coconut is another essential ingredient. From its milk and meat to its fibers, every part of the coconut is put to use. It finds its way into curries, stews, and desserts, adding a rich tropical flavor to the dishes. Pitcairn's honey is particularly noteworthy. Renowned as one of the purest in the world, it is produced by bees that pollinate the island's unique plants. This honey is not just a sweetener, but also an important component in many local recipes and beverages, reflecting the island's perfect environment. Given Pitcairn's location in the Pacific, seafood plays an important role in the diet. The islanders enjoy a variety of fresh fish and shellfish, whether grilled, stewed, or served raw in traditional Polynesian styles. The seafood is always fresh and caught sustainably, making it a staple of island cuisine. Pitcairn's food also carries historical influences from its early Polynesian settlers and European mutineers. This blend of traditions results in a unique fusion of flavors and cooking styles that you won't find anywhere else. Which of these amazing lifestyles do you find most interesting? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section.